In this video, we're going to take a look at doing a progress bill. So I'm going to navigate down to my projects module. Under the All tab in the Invoices section, I'm going to click Generate Invoices. And you see these little yellow stars here. If you need to put them on different areas of the system that you frequently use, it's very helpful. So click into Generate Invoices. And when I get in here, the first thing that I want to do is select the Invoice by Project Contract bullet. Wish that we could default that in, but we can't. So you do have to remember when you come in here, Invoice by Project Contract. Your template type, I'm leaving it as Project Contract Invoice. And my invoice date, 3/18, post date stays the same as my invoice date. And then I'm going to build through 3/18. My project contract that I'm using for this is Grace Manor. So I'm going to select my project contract. And then let's say you only do progress billing in the system. You do not use the time and material system functionality at all. So you can go over to the display options and you can actually tidy this up a little bit for yourself, which just kind of makes life easier. So let's say you don't use time and material billing at all out of the system. You can deselect all of these fields. And the only one that you need for progress billing is line 8. So you can just leave that one on. Now, if you do time and material billing out of the system, then you're not going to want to turn them off, because when you come in to do your time and material bill, then you're not going to see these other areas of the system which the billable transactions are pulling into, and you will need to do that. So this is only going to be done if you only do progress billing out of the system. And over here on your max rows, let's say you have very large schedule of values, you might want to increase the number of rows that you see when you go into preview. I'm okay with 50, so I'm going to leave it like that. And then down here in your project contract fields, you might want to turn off or move around some of these fields. So like for myself, I don't care to see item. And then maybe you want to move around like your completed this period, which is where you're going to actually be putting in the amount that you're billing. You might want to move that up further so that you see it earlier on the screen. You can play around with that so that it looks the way you want it to look. So then you hit preview and you come in here now and you're only seeing your project contract line section. You don't see all them other sections for your billable expenses. So on my project contract line section, then I have my 3 lines for my job, and I want to come over here to my completed this period, and this is where I'm going to pop in the amount that I am going to bill out. Or you could do a % completed to date. And when I said about moving around those columns, you could have moved completed this period like over here beside original price or something. However you want that to look is how you're going to do that. So completed this period, let's say I want to bill 20 grand on this line, and I'm going to bill 15,000 on this line. And then I am going to, you can put in stored materials if you have them. And then I'm going to create invoice. And I'm after forgetting to put in my billing application number. So the system stopped me. So if I go down here, I see there is a red asterisk beside current billing application number. You do have to put that in. And my next bill number would be number 4. Obviously put in whatever billing number you need. The other items that are required are invoice date, which we put in on the main screen, and then the due date, which mine is defaulting in from my terms. If you don't have the terms set, that won't default in, but it is required. So now I have everything in and I can actually create my invoice. And it's going to work, and then it's going to tell me the following invoice was created. And then if I go to my projects section again and hit view under the invoices, I can go in and have a look at that invoice. And you can also print or email it out of the system from here. So that is how you would do a progress bill out of Intacct.